Strange question time now. Is your wheel on a wonk? And by that I mean, if you're driving straight on the road, is your wheel looking like that or looking like that and not like that when you're driving in a straight line? First, what we need to do is decide whether your tracking's off. What you need to do, if that's the case, or you think it may be the case, then pop to my other video on alignment and I'll show you how to get it zeroed in if that's what you need it to be, or I'll show you how to get it zeroed in so you can get yourself down to the alignment shop. So if we've decided that it's not the case that your tracking's off and your wheel is looking like this, we can fix it. So we've decided that it's nothing to do with the tracking. We may have done some work on the car, on the suspension or the steering, and we've got back to the car, started driving it, and the wheel's on a wonk. So we're gonna just turn that so it is actually straight. So get it dead centered, and then we're happy. We also need to check that the wheels are also pointing in that direction. They're not slightly off or on a lock or halfway in between a full lock. Then we're going to turn the engine off. Go around to the front where we're going to go underneath the vehicle, and then from the front end you're going to have two parts of the steering rack that you're going to need to move about. Let's go and have a look. As you would have seen in my previous video, this is part of the steering rack. This is the tie rod end and this is the inner tie rod. What we want to do is crack this nut off and move it out of the way. Then we want to turn this, because we want the steering wheel to go in the direction of the passenger side, meaning that way. We want to turn it clockwise, but we don't have to turn it much, and we don't want to turn it too much because we don't want to go too far. So I'm going to show you what tools you need. Now these, although they are pipe wrenches, an adjustable spanner will work. For some reason I can't find mine. So we're going to use that to hold that in place. Then we're going to crack this off out of the way. Once we've cracked this nut out of the way and we've given us enough space, we're going to go clockwise on this, so downwards, holding this in place and turning it from here, which is conveniently shaped in what you need an adjustable spanner to attach to. Then we want to turn it as many times on this side as we then turn it on the other side. Exactly the same, because all we're doing is pushing it that way. So if we go to the other side, I'll show you. That it's the exact same setup, just the other way around. And on this way, we want to turn it so that we're going that way, meaning we want to turn it into instead of out of the outer tie rod or the tie rod end. So again, we want to crack this nut off and then start adjusting it with these two. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you're happy that you've adjusted it enough for now, and please make sure, because all we're doing is adjusting it, the steering wheel, we want to turn it the exact same amount of times on both sides so that it's equal and all you're doing is adjusting the steering wheel. Once we're done, we want to close up this nut so that it's safe and secure on both sides, and then take it for a test drive. Once you've had a test drive and you're happy that it's in a straight line, you're done. If it's not, we just readjust it, and then depending on which way, if it's too far that way, if your wheel has gone too far the other way, then you just want to go back the other way. So don't forget that you want the inner tie rod, tightening it or loosening it, whichever way you feel it should be said, in the direction. So you want to be turning it in the direction of where you want the actual steering wheel to head. And in this case, the steering wheel needs to be adjusted to go towards the passenger side. So on both sides, we are turning it in that direction. Then we close up the nut and torque it in to make sure it's correct, and you should be all done. Hopefully that helps. And as always, like and subscribe if this has helped.